Auniche, Aunibara, Netogoko Kolman, Noye Armadaloye Farafina. Welcome to another episode of Kuma Bakolo. Audanse Kuma Bakolo Kenekan. In this show, we focus on the essence of talk by looking at real-life examples of Manding words, written and hopefully someday spoken. So let's have a look at what we're going to be looking at today. Ankata. So in today's episode, I want to focus on something that's actually written in Unko. So if you aren't familiar with Unko, I've done a few other videos about it, but the short of it is that it's a writing system invented in 1949 by a West African Manding-speaking intellectual named Souleymane Kante. Alaka Hinala, may God have pity on him or rest in peace. He passed away in 1987 from diabetes. If you're interested in learning more about Kante, I actually wrote my dissertation about Kante and the Unko movement in part. Otherwise, there's tons of things online. Iowa. Donc, ambita fanitala. Let's go read this thing that I've picked out. And it's from Kanjamadi. So I'll leave the link in the description below, but it's an important Unko website where you can get news that's regularly posted with full articles, which is kind of cool. And the one that I picked for today is a little bit old, but it's totally timely. So Ambana Kala. So let's read that one. So here it is. You can see it in the Okodi. So I'm going to read it. If you don't know the Unko alphabet, you'll still be able to follow along. And when I type it into the document, I'll put it in Latin script, albeit without the tone markings. So you'll be able to follow nonetheless. And then hopefully this will encourage you to want to actually learn to read and write Unko, since there's a ton of websites and that kind of thing. Aiwa, Okodi, Oko, Jati Bolang, Unko Mang, Barase, iPhone Kono. Jati Bolang, Unko Mang, Barase iPhone Kono. Aiwa. Donc, ambenita. I think that a lot of you probably recognize at least one of those words. Let's see if I can highlight this correctly. Aiwa. Donc, ambenita. Oko. Mufin. Jati bolan unkoman bara iPhone. Barase iPhone Kono. Aiwa. O korokodi. So first of all, let's look. Jate bolan unkoman. That's going to be our first noun phrase. So that's going to be the subject as well. And let me see if I can do this. Let me say jati. Let me skip down a line. So jati bolang. Jati bolang korokodi. So actually, if we pop back over to the article, you can see there's a picture over here in the article of what looks like unko calculatrice, and it's cut off, and then a picture of a calculator. So that actually is going to be a good example of what we're talking about here. It's a calculator. So jati bolang, if we jump back to that, kajati. So let's make this kajati means to count something, right? Kajati bo would be the act of counting. To actually bo, which we've seen a lot, means to come out or to remove, to sortir in French. And in this case, kajati bo would have to be with the act of doing counting, right? Kajate bo. So that would be something like to do calculations, but we're not using the verb faire, right, or the verb ke, meaning to do, but rather the verb kabo. So that's just a particularity you have to learn. And here, what do we have? Jati bo lang. So lang is actually a suffix that I don't think we've seen thus far, which is turn something into an instrument, right? So this is saying counter, as in a counting machine or a counting instrument. And you can say all sorts of things with lang. For instance, I could make one up spontaneously. It's pretty productive. If I said like kuntanga, and I'm going to put in the dashes, you can see it. Kuntanga na would be head, protect, and then nang, meaning instrument. So head, protect, In English, we just use for that. So this would be a helmet. Kuntanga nang, head protector. Or jati bolang, in this case, means calculator. Aiwa. Ayemuke. So what did this calculator do? Oko abarase iPhone kono. So let's talk about iPhone. So this is written in Unko, obviously, but if you sound it out, then it looks like it actually just says iPhone. So let's put that in a different color. So it's written out if you want phonetically, just approximating what people hear. And it's iPhone kono. So kono is something you probably recognize if you've watched the basic Bambara series. So kono means inside, right? And it can also be used to mean your stomach. So you can say kono mai, my stomach is not good, meaning not feeling well, or there's a problem with my stomach. Or you can say mbeso kono, I'm in the house, right? Or